of the drug. That means evaluation of the drugs. We have studied evaluation of the drugs, analysis of the drugs, adulteration of the drugs, that we have studied. Okay. How many types of the adulterations are going on? What are the harmful aspects of the adulteration? What are the benefits or harms causing by the adulteration? What are the ways causing the adulteration? That all we have discussed. And now we are going to discuss ethnobotany. Ethnobotany. What does it mean, the ethnobotany? Ethnobotany means ethnobotany. We also call it as forest-related botany or tribal botany, are also called as folklore botany, are also called as hill area study of botany. There is lot of names are there for the ethnobotany. You know the ethnobotany and its importance. There is a lot of importance is there. You know, we are India having a lot of traditional knowledge, indigenous knowledge, where we are having a lot of usage of natural products, lot of usage of plants in so many remedies. As a medicine, we are using so many plants in our daily life. Our tribes, our peoples, our ancient people, our indigenous community is using the plant resources. Knowingly or unknowingly, we all are using the plant resources in our daily life for our healthy purposes, for our immunity purposes, for our balancing of health purposes. We are using lot of plants, so many plants that we are in usage. You know, our India is one of the mega biodiversity country, having the very ancient history of our country. The old ancient history is there from the Vedas onwards. We are using the plants for our various resources, for various purposes. We are using the plants which are more useful to us in our daily life. No, one of the branch, and we all already studied the Ayush now. Ayush, our indigenous system of medicine. Indigenous system of medicine also we have studied. Yes or no? Indigenous system of medicine we have studied. That indigenous system of medicine, Ayurveda, our traditional system of medicine, Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha, Yoga and Naturopathy, and Homeopathy. This traditional indigenous system of medicine we are using from the Vedas times onwards. Vedas times onwards, we are using this indigenous. What's going on? Resound is going on. Huh? Why the resound is coming? Hello? Sound is coming from where? From my side? Hello? Hello? Sound is coming. Okay, we will continue. We will continue it. Okay, no problem at all. Light focus is okay. Now we will discuss the ethnobotany, ethnobotanical aspects, ethnobotanical aspects of the plants. Okay, you know ethnobotany. Ethnobotany means ethnobotany means. Oh, I think no one is there. I have to myself. Okay. Ethnobotany is the study of traditional knowledge. Here we will discuss introduction, history, aim, and scope application of ethnobotany in our daily life. Okay, ethnobotany is a branch of biology, is a branch of botany, usage of the botanicals in indigenous knowledge, in the traditional knowledge by the indigenous people, by the traditional people, by tribal people, hill area people, what they are using botanicals, that means plants, in their life, how they are getting benefit, how the plants are being utilized by the tribes. That we are going to discuss. That is nothing but ethnobotany. Ethnobotany. As for Horsburgh, John Horsburgh, what is the definition of it is? It is an encompasses of all the studies which concern mutual relationship between the plants and traditional people. Between the plants and traditional people. Between the plants and the traditional people. It explains about how the interrelationship is there in between the human beings and the tribal people and the plants. It discuss about the plants and traditional people, tribal people. So many, majorly it includes the utilization of the plants, importance of the plant, how they use, how they are utilizing. The first ethnobotany word coined by who? John William Asperger. John William Asperger given the term word that is ethnobotany. What it is? Ethnobotany. Okay, ethnobotany is nothing but the relationship between the plants and the tribal. Between the plants and the tribal people is called as ethnobotany. Okay, and ethnobotany was coined by John William Asperger. John William Asperger used the term, was to coin the term ethnobotany. Okay, the 4000 BC onwards, primitive Chinese, 5000 BC from our Vedas onwards, we are using a lot of plants as in medicinal plants, which we are using to cure as a curative product, as a remedial product. In the Babylonian time also, there is a record, earliest document is there. Hippocrates, you know, the Hippocrates is the father of medicine. And the Greek surgeon Dioscorides is published his book in the Materia Medica. There also he discussed 600 above plants which we are using in daily life for the curation, for the cure, for the remedy of the so many diseases. That from that olden days onwards, we are using the botany, we are using the plants in our daily life. You see, Ayurveda is a pioneer, the earliest medical science, Susruta, Charaka, Susruta Samhita, Charaka Samhita is all the oldest literature that is available in our India for our wealth and health purposes. Our ancient people, they started utilization of the plants from the civilization onwards, from the human being evaluation onwards. Even from Rigveda, 3500 to 600 BC, and Atharvana Veda, lot of descriptions are there about the drugs. I already told you the Charaka Samhita and Susruta Samhita. Granthas, which explain about the 700 above medicinal plants, what the structure, how it is useful, for what disease it is useful, what type of the plants are useful. You know, Parashara written the book of Vriksha Ayurveda. Vriksha Ayurveda. Parashara written the book of Vriksha Ayurveda that also describe about the science of medicinal plant, scientific usage of the medicinal plant, for what purpose they are using, that all described in this literature, in the olden literature also. Even Linnaeus, Species Plantarum, he described 5,900 above plants. Their structure, nomenclature is there. Okay, and you know, S.K. Jain from our India done lot of work. S.K. Jain, you know, who is the father of ethnobotany? Who is the father of ethnobotany? You know, our father of Indian ethnobotany is Jain, and is who is that? Richard Even Sutler. Richard Even Sutler is called as father of ethnobotany. Richard Evans Shelter. Richard Evans Shelter. Who is that? Richard Evans Shelter. Richard Ivan Shelter is called as father of ethnobotany. Father of ethnobotany. Okay, he has done lot of work on aboriginal botany, forest area botany, utilization of the plants in the daily life. He has given the description of lot of medicinal plants, food ingredient plants, medicinal plants, and toxic plants, poisonous plants, medicinal plants, food ingredient plants, for whatever it is. So various type of the botanical explain they have explained various aspects of the botany usage by so many uh, usages he has described. And then in our India, who is that? S.K. Jain. From our Telangana also Hemadri, Koppala Hemadri. Hemadri is our ethnobotanist. Hemadri. Hemadri written lot of books. Hemadri written the lot of books on ethnobotany, aboriginal botany. Ethnobotany or aboriginal botany or traditional botany are also called as folklore medicine. Folklore medicine. Ethnobotany, they not written any book literature. Usually, the illiterate village tribal people, they carry forward from one to other, from from their old generation to from their uh, uh, they feel the doctor elder from their elder to their next generation only by orals, only by orals, not written anywhere, by practicing, by uh, dictating, by practicing, they exchange from one to other, from one to other, one generation to next generation, from their next generation only by oral or only by practicing. Okay, and like that, so many people they use it to apply the plant in various remedies. In various remedies, use it to apply. Even for the snake bite, scorpion bite, skin diseases, and for any eye diseases, so many diseases, they use it to collect the plants and use it to prepare the decoctions or extractions. The decoctions or extraction raw drug or crude drug directly they can use in their remedy for the so many diseases. Okay, you know who is that? Richard Evan Shelter is the father of ethnobotany. Our Indian father of ethnobotany is S.K. Jain. In our Telangana, Hemadri is a, he has done lot of work on ethnobotany and traditional botany. Okay, this is very, very important even in the competitive exam point of view also. These 3 points, very, very important. And then next, you can see lot of historical aspects are there from various countries. But what is the usage? What is the importance? What is the scope of ethnobotany? The lot of scope is there to extraction, to identification, to evaluation of traditional medicine. natural medicine, herbal medicines, herbal medicines in our new era without any side effects to carry forwarding the traditional knowledge from tribal people, folklore people, indigenous peoples to the scientific community to the pharmaceutical product toward the pharmaceutical production toward the chemical production toward the medicinal productions. If we know the knowledge of the plants, we can utilize that knowledge, we can make document that knowledge for the future generation, for the future aspects, to cure the so many diseases. We have lack of documentation of our traditional knowledge, our indigenous knowledge. That's why we lost the patent and we fight against the USA and other countries for our indigenous products, neem, haldi, and cows, cow milk. These all are actually our indigenous system of medicines. Our traditional people, our olden days people, ancient days onwards, being utilized the haldi and the neem as an antibiotic, an antiseptic. But without proper documentation, we might have lost that patent right. But we fight later by collecting the documentation of olden days in our tradition, how they are using, what they are using. So if you want to get the patent, if you want to get the authorization, authenticity to any product, any plant, we need the documentation. That documentation will be done by this ethnobotanical study. In this ethnobotanical study, we document the indigenous knowledge of medicinal plants, tribal knowledge of medicinal plants, folklore knowledge of medicinal plants, what they are using, what type of the plants, at what time, how they are using the plants for the remedy. That all will be documented. And also for the preservation of unwritten traditional knowledge about the herbal plants, it will be very useful. And also to by knowing the medicinal plants which are very useful, if you don't know, we feel it as a weed, we feel it as a waste plant. But if you know the usage of that plant, automatically we will make it conserve, preserve for our future generation. And also as a national heritage, and also to create awareness among its role in cultural, social, and health of the people. It make aware, create awareness. You know, in our culture, in our tradition, we pray lot of plants. You know, people tree, neem tree, and haldi. That we all feel it as a very, very equal to God, very useful. We pray for that. Like there are so many trees being prayed, being taking the pujas, doing the pujas to so many plants in our India because of make aware of about that plant, utilization of that plant, how it is utilized, and also in the ethnobotany, we also can train the people or students for the utilization of that medicinal plant and for the utilization and for the conservation and for the preparation of the document, we can train the people and students to prepare the documentation of the medicinal plant. You know, the Taxol that is came from Taxus baccata, gymnosperm plant. If you don't know the Taxol is coming from the Taxus baccata, without knowingly, unknowingly, we may cut the trees, we may cause for the total loss of the trees. If we know the usage of that plant, we will definitely conserve. That knowledge is available through the ethnobotanical study. The main aim is to document the facts about the plant use and to elucidate the ethnobotanical text for by defining, describing, investigating ethnobotanical rules, investigating ethnobotanical rules and processes. Okay, you see, what is the main objective of ethnobotany? What is it? Increase the production, manufacture of herbal drugs instead of chemical drugs. You know the sikakaya, kunkudagaya instead of shampoos. You know the Pilanthus neruri amaras that we use in the jaundice, hepatitis, like that, very widely grown, even in the barren areas, open lands, it grows. That type of the knowledge, that type of the herbal drugs, we need to use. We need to carry forward for the future. And we need to do the research. And also, we will provide the research and job opportunities for the people, students to work upon the ethnobotanical aspects, to document the various usage of the medicinal plant that are main objectives of these medicinal plants. Okay, and there is a lot of scope is there with the ethnobotany. Even in the high technology era, we are using, we are defending 80% above of the medicines we are depending upon plant-based drugs. Even in high technology era, even chemical synthesizing era, we are using the botanical herbal drugs, herbal extractions for the preparation of medicines. That is a greatness. As for WHO, it's saying 80% of the drugs that are being utilized, preparing by the herb using the plants from the herbal drugs. And like that, so many countries in mega biodiversity countries, even India, or one of the mega biodiversity countries, our India, and in Africa, America, France, Mexico, USA. In the recent years, ethnobotany is attracting so many people to cure. Why? Because so many ill effects and so many harmful diseases also being cured by these herbal drugs. You know, in the corona time, so many use the Tynospora cardifolia, Tipatiga, to control, to stop the respiratory disorders. The ethnobotany is very much useful in the rural health and drugs. Nowadays, recent times, what happening? Failures has been happening because of rural health, drugs, abuses, social customs, and cottage industries, conservation of ecosystem, nutrition, and energy point of view. We are using this ethnobotany not only for the medicinal purposes, in the so many aspects we are using. Ethnobotany today established linkage between the many special branches. Ethnobotany not only linked with the botany, not only the traditional knowledge linked with the botany, it has multi branches. ethnomedicine, medicinal plants which are using by the tribes, ethnic people, tribal people, folklore people, ethnopharmacology, how the crude drugs extraction is preparing, how they are utilizing, tribals are being used. These plants in their traditional knowledge, by the traditional knowledge, how they are applying these plants for their people curation from the so many diseases. See, and ethno-veterinary plants which are using for the animal diseases to cure the diseases of animals, to make perfect the animals, to make healthy of the animals, using so many herbs, plants by the tribes. And ethno-narcotics, you know the narcotics, or ganjai, tobacco, I like that. Hibiscus cannabis, tobacco, I like that. And pepper, papium, opium poppy, black pepper, is all. Ethnobiology, what the bryophyte plants utilizing in the olden days. And ethno-cosmetics, cosmetics purpose. That means the skin lotions, face creams, soaps, soups, salads, and creams preparations, the cosmetics preparation. Nowadays, we are using, you know, the aloe vera lotion, tulasi lotion, neem lotion, like that. The plant extractions, plant lotions, plant creams we are using in the cosmetics instead of chemicals. Like that, they having the very interrelated branch with the other aspects, with the chemistry, with the pharmacy, with the drugs and narcotics, pharmacognosy, cosmetics, so many. Already told you, it is a natural and traditional interrelationship between the man and the plant, between the man and the plant. You know, there is a lot of usages I already told you. The every indigenous people having their own culture, tradition, their own region, their own indigenous plants they use for the remedies, for the curation. You know, the Kerala Agasthamala Hill area, Sanjeevani plant, Sanjeevani Muk. That Sanjeevani, it gave the more energy and gave health and very high immunity power. That Sanjeevani. You know, the Sanjeevani leaf they eat before going to climb the hill. Even after evening, till still the evening night, they will be very active without taking any food also. That is the rich source of the food material which are there in the plants, in indigenous plants. Only thing is you should know, we will make aware, we should document, we will utilize properly without destruction. In the sustainable development manner, without destructing, it must be available for the future generation also. Future generation also. In our culture must be forward to the future generation. Otherwise, we may lose so much of the plant health, plant wealth, so that we may lose lot. You know, so many interrelationships are there with the cultural, spiritual relationship is there with the plants. In between In our festivals, rituals, we use so many plants. We use so many plants in our culture rituals. We use so many plants in daily life. The festival Ugadi, we use Shadrushis. Sankranti, we use Gobama, Rangoli, and various plant products upon the Rangoli. And Batakama, we use the various flowers that all having the medicinal curative properties, that is carry forwarding from our ancient people to us traditionally, culturally. We also need to know what are the useful plants and what are the harmful plants. Some of them are harmful, poisonous plants also is there. That also we should know. All the mega diversity countries having a rich source of the plants, rich source of the drug material, plant material. Ethnobotany, in the ethnobotanical aspect, what we have to, what are the scope, what are the disciplines, what are the aspects, not only the medicine, as a food, what type of the plants are using, for the shelter, what type of the plant they are using, for the medicine, for the clothing, and for the religious ceremonies, the different rituals, religion, festivals, gatherings, what type of the plant we are using. We use the mango leaves in the festivals. Why? It releases the more oxygen. Crowded people, crowd of the people, if they exhale the more carbon dioxide, the whole area will become very heat, warm up. In that area, so many people they may get illness. To prevent that, we use the mango leaves for an olive, and we use the neem leaves, neem extractions, and we used to apply haldi to the legs and doors, kadapalaki, or in the steps, to the steps, because all the people they may come from various areas, they may having the contaminated bacteria, virus, whatever it is, that all being killed by using this our religious what the ceremonies what we are using haldi, neem, tulasi, like that. It are having the remedies curative properties. You see, I told you what I told you. Who is the father of ethnobotany? I told you already. Richard Ivan Selter. Richard Ivan Selter is the father of ethnobotany. And R.K. Jain is father of Indian ethnobotany. Okay, that all we have studied. Huh? You see, the book, so many books are being written on the ethnobotany. What are edible, what are not edible, what are medicinal plants, what are poisonous plants. If you go around on the tribal areas, some interior areas, still in high technology era, so many are using plant extractions for their remedies, curative properties. So many plants they are using, even still they are using lot of medicinal plants for their curing curing their diseases to get right from the illness, makes men perfect and make men sit down. So many respiratory related drugs and reproduction related drugs, related to usage of the medicinal plants is going on in the traditional knowledge. For the abortion, for the pregnancy, for the kidney stones removal, for the lung infection removal. This are, for all those, they are using lot of so many plants for various remedies. You know, the ethnobotany is also having the multi branches. That is, I already told you, ethnomedicine, ethnopharmacognosy, ethno, like that. Here you can see ethno-agriculture. What type of the plant that are being used that are also cultivating so that it will be available for the future generation also. And ethno-archaeobotany, archaeological and the fossilized archaeological in the structure, archaeological structures also having so many plants structures. That means the days that type of the plants are there, that plants are being used. Jiluga, used as a taddi, Jiluga taddi. Like that, so many neem, banyan tree, people tree, and ethno-ecology, ecological study, ecological aspects of ethnobotany. Which area, what type of the climatic condition, what type of the biotic and abiotic conditions, what are the ecological niche, that all we can know in this. And ethnogastrology, gastrointestinal problems, what type of the plants using in the gastrointestinology, what type of the plants using in the embryology, reproduction, what type of the plants using in the respiration, like that. So many branches are there. Ethnopharmacognosy, ethnopharmacognosy, how they are using, how they are extracting the crude drugs, study about the crude drugs collection, cultivation, collection, preparation, processing, and preparation of the medicine. And ethnophytotaxonomy, what type of the plants, what family it belongs to, what type of the plant it is, whether it is herb, shrub, climber, thinner, trees, that all taxonomical aspects also. Ethnopteridology, what are the pteridophyte plant which are using in the medicine as a medicine? What are the bryophyte plants which are using in ethnomedicine? What are the algae? What are the fungi? What are the lichens which we are using as in ethnomedicine? And ethno-veterinary, what are the plants which are using in the veterinary animal diseases, what type of the plants which we are using. And ethnobiology, what type of the biological reactions, or what biology is there in the plants and their chemicals and their ingredient, their drugs and their usage. Now, so many botanical trainings for the identification and preservation, and anthropological trainings to understand the cultural concepts around the tribal perceptions, around the perception of the plants, concepts, and then linguistic training to talk with the tribal people in their own language. Otherwise, they don't say any, they don't list out, they don't bring out any their indigenous knowledge to common people. If they believe, then only they can share their knowledge. So that linguistic training, transcription, language, and syntax, these all are needed. Epidemiology, what type of the disease are occurring in that area, what are the plants growing in that area, what are the extracts they are using, and ethnomedicinal, medical, what are the biological and chemicals, what are the plants which are in the biological and chemical compounds which we are using in the medicine, and traditional medicine culture, how they are using, what they are using as a traditional medicine instead of allopathy medicine, and ecology of the people, how, what they are what is their structural and functional units, how the niche is going on, that all will be discussed. There's so many applications of ethnobotany. Either our tribal people using so many plants as a traditional knowledge, carry forwarding from one to the next generation. You see, suppose allium sepa, gas, huh? Onion, that we are using an antipyretic, and in the skin infections, we are using even for the removal of the dandruff, antipyretic, skin infection, we use this onion. ఉల్లి చేసిన మేలు తల్లి కూడా చేయదు అంటారు కదా. The ulli onion that having that much of the property, curative property, medicinal property. The garlic, allium sativa, garlic that purify the blood. It prevent from the blood disorders and even from the heart stroke. It will be prevent. And gastrointestinal problems. Also, the garlic is being used by the tribals. Citrus, sinus, batai, that all, nimma, narinja, batai, that all we are using for our gastrointestinal problems, stomach ache, and even for the respiratory disorders. We are tribal people, they are being used. You see, Dalbargia, rosewood, Indian rosewood, that they are using in the files, jaundice, Tinospora we are using for the respiratory disorders, Gymnema we are using for the diabetic, tribal people using for the diabetic patients, Tylopora indica, Mecameyaniaku, that also using for the asthma, respiratory disorders, and Tunica granatum, anar, danima, that also using by the tribal people, the gastrointestinal, chest infections, blood as a blood purifier. We are using that. Even the bark of the Egisa, Pterocarpus marsupiana, that we use for the purification and the bone fracture, remove for the bone attaching purposes. You see, Hypotia japonica. These fruits we eat that we use in the chest, heart problems. You see, Pineculum vulgare soap, Cuminum cyminum, Gilakara, Karam capticum vamu. These are spices. Even Dachin chekka, Terminalia cebula, Karakkai, Terminalia ballarica, Thanikai, Emblica officinalis usuri, Tripala churna. These all using from the olden days onward, from our traditions. We are using this all the plants to improve the quality of life and to remedy, to cure so many diseases. For the gastrointestinal problems, we use Vamu, Jilakara, Sompu, Perula supported Inguma. This all we use. Okay, and Pinus dactylifera, Kajur, Pinus sylvestris, Etha. This also we use in gastrointestinal problems. Kajur also used for the sexual power improvement. That all we use. And the cyanodine ductile and Garica, that release the fresh oxygen that used to cure the bite diseases, to make them respirate, I respire. Osimum, so many, 21 type of the osimum. Osimum krishnae, osimum basalicum, osimum. So many are there. Pennisetum, osimum tenophydes. So many osimum, 21 type of the osimum that we use. Respiratory problems, skin problems, osimum sanctum, osimum basalicum, osimum krishnae. Solanum, Trilobactam, Solanum surrectans, Nelamulakkaya. That also olden days onwards being used for the what it is files for the files and for the easy motions. Tegel marmalosa maridu. Like that, for so many diseases, so many purposes, we are using. Andrographis paniculata, Nelavemu, we use for the diabetic patients and also kidney problems, urinary disorders. We use this Andrographis paniculata. The Centella asiatica, these all are being used heart shape, kidney shape, rainy-form leaves. Saraswati Layam, Brahmi Tailam Saraswati Layam to improve the memory power. Becofine A and B is present. This all clad that improve the memory power. And you see Justicia Adatoda Vasa. Vasa Chetu antam kada Vasa. The Vasa Chetu. Chinna pillalaku Vasa poster kada. Vasa. For that also is being used. For that also we are being used. Okay, like that, so many plants we are using in our daily life for the remedy from the ancient onwards, from the tribal people onwards, not only educated, not only modern people, even tribe, we are being used this medicinal plant. Okay, so lot of importance is there. By studying the ethnobotany, we will get the more knowledge and prosperous and health and wealth also. You see, Solanum nigrum comanche, Solanum surrectum, Solanum nigrum. This we use as a medicine to cure the piles and for the respiration, reproductive issues and urinary problems. And you see, Alternanthera sessile, Ponnagantikura, that also melt the kidney stones and also for the vitamin A supplement as a vitamin A supplement and for the kidney stone removal. Alternanthera sessile, Alternanthera, so many species are there. Pannagantikura, like that. There is a lot of usages, more usages is there, much significance is there, more significance of the medicinal plant is there for the human being. More human beings are using the medicinal plants for the curation of the so many diseases and for the health purpose, for the immunity purposes, as a food crop, as a textile crop, as a medicinal crop, as a drugs crop, as a narcotics crop, as a clothing crop, like that. So many plants directly using as a medicine or as a cloth or as a food, like that. Whatever the traditional people they are using the plant, that all include in this ethnobotany. You see, medicinal plants are the resources of new drugs. New drugs are not came from any directly not came from the chemical factory knowledge. It is directly or indirectly the product of the plant only. Based upon the plant products only, in the plant, what are the alkaloid, what are the esters, what are the steroids, what are the proteins which are having the curative property, that chemical, that drug, that medicines are preparing by the pharmacists, pharmacognosist, medicists. You know, we having 250,000 about types of the flowering plant species are there. Of that, more number are very useful in a medicinal plant. Studying of these traditional usage of the plants is very useful to protect us from the so many illness, so many disorders, and also make aware about the toxicity, poisonous effects, and curative properties. And also, by knowing this knowledge, by documenting this knowledge, we also need to preserve for the future generation. For that, if you're having the highly medicinal property, automatically more people will get ready to cultivate and for the preservation, for the preparation of the medicine, so that the biological diversity will be protected. That with that, whatever the metabolic engineering, metabolic activities of the plant will be safe side, will be protected for the preparation of the medicine. Now, WHO also found around 20,000 plant species are in use for the medicine in various countries. Only 250 of those species are commonly used or being checked for main active chemical compounds. There is a lot more number of the plants need to study, need to evaluate their chemical constitution, their application, and their curative properties, their biological activities, and their phytochemical activities, and their toxicity or medical property or toxicity property. That all need to check. We need to check more plants which are used by the people in traditional knowledge, in the traditional knowledge. There is a lot of more number, very high usage is there, that all we need to study, we need to evaluate, we need to document. You see, herbal drug evaluation is much needed. Traditional medicinal knowledge, development of new herbals, bioprospecting tools for the drug discovery, role of ethnopharmacognosy, and reverse pharmacology are also need to be studied. Oh, oh, oh. Ethnopharmacological studies are need to be evaluated. We need to study more and more plants for our medicinal usage purposes, drugs usage purposes. What happened? Screen locked up. There is a lot of usages are there for the medicinal plant in our daily life. In our daily life, we are using more number of the plants for their curative properties. So we should know the usage of that plant. We should document. We should apply the multi-level interrelationship of the ethnobotanical knowledge. Not only with the botanical knowledge, it also must be attached with the other interrelated knowledge so that it will be utilized, it will be properly documented, it will be more benefit to the coming generation, next generation peoples. These are much important. You don't negligent the traditional knowledge, indigenous people knowledge, above regional people knowledge. It having lot of prosperity, lot of potentiality is there in their knowledge. Though they are illiterate, they having the much more knowledge. They having the wealthy knowledge in the usage of natural products than us. Than us, there is a lot more, much importance they are giving to the plants, to the nature, mingling with the nature, surviving in the nature, they are adapting with the nature. So they are healthy than our concrete jungle people. They are very healthy than our concrete jungle living people. Why? Because they are mingling with the nature, they are mingling with the plants, natural resources. They are taking the natural resources as their food instead of uh, adulterated, instead of diluted, instead of degraded food material. They are using very natural products. That all we should know, that all the knowledge we should to carry forward, that all the knowledge we should gather from the indigenous people, that all the knowledge we should carry forward, that all the knowledge should be documented. That is possible by this ethnobotanical study. This ethnobotanical study having the much importance even in the high technology era. Now we are more people are interested to do the research on traditional plants, medicinal plants which are using in their daily life, what the curative property they have. By studying that, more people are getting patent on the product and the process of that medicinal plant, product and process that medicinal plant, so that more people are being getting benefit, more people are getting benefit with that knowledge, more people are become wealthy by using that knowledge. So a lot of importance is there, more usage is there. More usage is there for their curative properties. Only thing is, we all should know, we all should make this knowledge available. We have to use our indigenous knowledge, our tradition knowledge for the future generation. Okay, it's the question they ask, ethnobotany, scope and objectives of the ethnobotany. History, scope and objective. History, from the ancient source, we are using the plants. It traditional plants. It having the multi-scope, multi-interrelated branches are there to know, to study ethnopharmacognosy, ethnomedicine, ethnopharmacology, ethnoveterinary, ethno-narcotics, ethno-embryology, uh, ethnocosmetics, like that, ethnobotany, that ethnobryology, ethnotedology, ethnoarchaeology, ethnoarchaeobotany. In this, not only the plants, here culture, tradition, spiritual relationship, traditional relationship, and using what they are clothing, that all we can study in this ethnobotany. Agriculture, what they are cultivating. They are not cultivating the uh, our what it is, Vanija Pantal, commercial crops. They are cultivating for their own food. For their food only, they are cultivating. Okay. For this ethnobotany, make aware so much training is needed. Botanical training, linguistic training to know the language, to transcript the language. Okay. Ecological study and study is needed to improve, to document the traditional knowledge for the future generation, to get more and more patent, to get more wealth to our indigenous people instead of importing the drugs, medicines, narcotics, cosmetics. We can make, prepare, we can get knowledge, we get knowledge with that we can get usage of this. You know, the herbal drug evaluation, ethnobotany is also using in the herbal drug evaluation. How the herbal drugs are being prepared, is any adulteration is going on, any various other products are mixing, that all also need to study. And also to rescue the knowledge of imminent danger and being lost. And also utility of plant for various therapies in new era, present era, in the different therapies, the molecular models of the plants and useful aspects of the plant, and their physiopathology of the plant, and plants which are using in the folk medicine, plant which are having the intermediate chemicals and secondary metabolites. The we need to educate, re-educate all the people with this traditional knowledge. Go back to nature like that. We have to go back to learn more much traditional knowledge to carry forward to the next generation. This all very much needed. How to collect specific plant, suppose rhizome plant, corn plants, and bulbils. How we have to collect? How we have to collect? What is the collection process way of the leaf extractions and root, bark, stem, various parts, collection time, collection process, and preservation process, and preparation process that also included in this botany. Okay, ethnopharmacognosy also includes. So we having, hopefully we having the more traditional knowledge, more traditional people are there, that all we need to gather that knowledge, the aboriginal people language, traditional knowledge, indigenous knowledge, folklore knowledge, that all we should do, we should gather. As for WHO, we need to evaluate the drugs, extracting plants, chemical related plants, and medicinal plants, food plants, additive plants, that all we need to evaluate. The WHO also now insisting to educate, to document the traditional knowledge, olden knowledge, to carry forward for the future generations, for the curation of so many hard, hill, dangerous diseases. So many natural, traditional uh, medicines are curing hill harmful diseases than the advanced technology. Even in the biological diversity, what type of the plants are growing, what type of the family, what family, which family, what type of the plant, what is the ecosystem of that plant, that all, what are the curative properties, what are the chemical composition, uh, which plant having the more highest medical composition, which plant having the pharmaceutical uh, pharmacological property, that all we can know with this ethnobotany. And you know, it also be used for the drug discovery from the natural product. Instead of chemicals preparation, we can use the natural products for the discovering of new drugs. If you know the usage of the drugs, what plant they are using, by extracting that plant chemical, we can use it as a modern drug. You see, there is a lot of interrelation is there in the ethno medicinal ethnobotanical aspects. You see, collection first is selection, preparation of natural product, and isolation, purification, and identification of structure, structural elucidation, secondary screening, tertiary screening, and preclinical development. Then it will come out as a new drug. And also for the bioassay to do the evaluation test, to do the authentication test, to identify the curative property, to know the curative levels, and also to study the chemotaxonomy. What chemicals, what alkaloids, what medicines, what drugs, what narcotics are there in the plants, what chemical it is there, what are the chemical ecology, which area plant having the what type of the chemical, what type of the minerals, what why that specific area plants are being used as a medicine, why not other area plants, is there any specificity, is there any chemical variation, is there any biological variation, that all also we can know by this bioprospecting of these plants, by this ethnobotanical study. It's much needed. Ethnobotany, ethnopharmacology is much needed to identify, to carry forward the traditional knowledge and indigenous knowledge to the future generation. There is a lot of studies are going on. The ethnobotanical study, ethnobotanical or folklore medicines, folklore study, ethnobotanical study of medicinal plants from various regions, various areas, regional wise, area wise. There is a lot of work is going on. We need to document. We realized there is a need of documentation of traditional knowledge. For that, ethnobotany is the key aspect to carry forward, to preserve, to conserve the traditional knowledge, and to utilize for the new drug discovery and for the health and wealth of the human being, animals, and living beings. Okay, with it, I am concluding this ethnobotany, the very important. Okay, ethnobotany, that lot of importance is there. The essay question came from the ethnobotany. The essay question is very uh, important. Ethnobotany. After medicinal plants, the ethnobotany is very important. After the medicinal plants, ethnobotany is very important. Ethnobotanical aspects of medicinal plants, ethnobotanical aspects of ethnopharmacy, and multidisciplinary aspects of ethnobotany, that all are very much needed, very much importance, lot of scope is there for the ethnobotanical study. Even in the early Idnal technology era, the ethnobiotechnology, ethnobiochemicals, ethnochemistry, but chemotaxonomy, ethnopharmacognosy, ethnopharmacy, that all having the lot of importance. Okay, this is a very important. Next, then in the next class we will go over the embryology. Okay, embryology we will discuss. With this, we completed the medicinal plants, history aspects of medicinal plant, scope of medicinal plant, usage of medicinal plant, and adulteration of adulteration of crude drugs, evaluation of crude drugs, pharmacognosy, scope of pharmacognosy. This all we are, cultivation of medicinal plant, conservation of medicinal plant, and ethnobotany. This all we have studied. Okay, these are very important essay questions, which all will cover. And in the next 2 units, embryology is there. In that embryology, we will discuss. Okay, all right, bye.